Good morning, children. Now then, it's my turn to do an assembly today. So I'm also going to start by lighting a candle, if I can make it all work. So we're lighting a candle just to remind us that Jesus is with us and he's the light of the world, and give us a little bit of time just to stop and to think. Right, here we go. Is it going to work? Right, just going to put this down here. Okay, now I know, I hope you can hear me actually. I will try and talk a bit louder. I know Mrs. Day has been reading stories to you this week and has been looking at washing our hands and how we can stay safe. So what I'm going to do is read you a story called The Huge Bag of Worries. I'm actually just going to move this candle, which is kind of right under my nose. It's still here, but I'm just going to put it to one side. Okay, so we're going to read this book, A Huge Bag of Worries, because we know that there might be all sorts of things that we're anxious about coming back into school. So you sitting comfortably, and then we'll read it together. So if you can see this as well. Jenny had always been happy. She had a lovely mum and dad, a great brother, well, most of the time. She had a best friend at school, and she liked her teacher. And then, of course, there was Loftus. I think this is Loftus here. He must be the dog. But recently she had been getting gloomier and gloomier. It wasn't just one thing, it was everything. She worried that she was getting too fat, that Loftus had fleas, and that her best friend was going away. She worried that she was getting bad marks at school, and she thought she heard someone whispering about her in the playground. She worried when her mum and dad had an argument. She even worried about wars and bombs. Until one day she woke to find a huge bag of worries. The bag followed her everywhere, to school, to swimming, to the toilet, and it stuck by her even when she was watching TV. She tried ignoring it, but it didn't work. She tried throwing it away, but it always came back. She tried to lock it out, but when she got back to her bedroom, there it was, waiting for her. It was like a horrible shadow that she just couldn't get rid of. What could she do? She asked her brother for help, but he was busy with his computer game, and all he said was, "I don't know what you are talking about. I don't have any worries." After that, she didn't feel like asking anyone else. She knew she'd only feel stupid. Mum would probably say, "You've got no worries that I can see. You're a lucky girl. You've got your health, your friends, your family. What more do you want?" So she decided not to tell her. Dad might know what to do, but then she thought again. No, Dad had enough of his own worries. She couldn't ask him. Every day things got worse. The bag got bigger and bigger and bigger. She couldn't sleep because it kept tossing and turning beside her all night. To make matters worse, the bag dragged around her feet so much when she was walking to school that she was late, and then the teacher was cross. Jenny couldn't tell her what had happened, and anyway she knew what she would say. "You've got too many worries. In future, leave that bag at home." When Jenny told her best friend about the bag, she suggested that Jenny locked it up in a cupboard and tried not to think about it. "That's what I'd do," she said. But it just didn't work. You can see the bags coming out again. Even Loftus couldn't help. He tried his best and barked like mad, but the bag stood its ground. One morning Jenny woke. She got dressed and walked down the road. She'd had enough. The tears started rolling down her cheeks. She sat on a garden wall and put her head in her hands. She thought she would have to live with her bag forever. Then she heard a voice, and looking up, she saw the kindly face of the old lady who lived next door. "Goodness," said the old lady, "what on earth is that huge bag of worries?" Through her tears, Jenny explained how it had followed her for weeks and got bigger and bigger and just wouldn't go away. "Now, let's just open it up and see what's inside," said the old lady. I'm sorry, my dog is coming to join me now. Come on, this way then. But Jenny said she couldn't. If she opened up the bag, the worries might jump out, and who knew what might happen then? "Nonsense," said the old lady firmly. "There's nothing a worry hates more than being seen. If you have any worries, however small, the secret is to let them out slowly, one by one, and show them to someone else. They'll soon go away." So Jenny opened the bag. The old lady sorted the worries into groups. Jenny was astonished to see how small they looked when they were out in the open. Half the worries disappeared because lots of worries just hate the light of day. There they are, disappearing when they see the daylight. As for the rest, the old lady put some in her shopping basket to deal with herself. Some she sent packing because she said they belonged to other people. You see, that one's gone to Mum, and that one's gone back to Dad. And some she just blew a kiss to. And some she said were worries that everyone had, even Jenny's family, her friends, and her teacher. And as for the bag, can you see what she's done with it? Now it's empty of all its worries, she can throw it away. If you have a little think about that story, and you can have a talk to your teachers, I think the most important thing to do is to know that we do all have worries. I have worries, you will have worries, your teachers will have worries, but the most important thing we can do is to talk about our worries and let each other share them. So if you have some time today, I know you've got a worry box in your classroom, so if you've got some worries, you can either talk directly to your teacher or you can pop them in the worry box, and then your teacher will have a look and find them in there. Right, chaps, we're going to finish with our prayer. So I'm hoping this is somewhere you can read it in your classroom, but I'll read it to you, and if you want to just listen, and otherwise you can join in. Okay. Father God, at the beginning of this new school year, help me to be positive, courageous and determined in all I do. Help me to collaborate well with my friends and to take time to reflect. Let me find opportunities to make the world around me a better place to be. Amen. Okay. Well, I'm going to blow this candle out now before the dog jumps on it. Okay. Right. Have a lovely day, and remember, any worries, just talk to us about them, or talk to Mum and Dad about them. All right.